Welcome back to my dark corner of this sick world.
But I'm not coming, I'm not a well man.
If there's a film called The Horrible Sexy Vampire, we are going to watch it.
You're going to hear now what I think about it.
And be warned, I'm judging this almost exclusively on its balance of horribleness and sexiness, so it better deliver. And right away we get a pretty girl in lingerie and... followed by a topless shower scene. What the hell? The couple are killed by an invisible intruder.
Well, what's your opinion, Doctor?
Horrible yet sexy.
That from the results of my autopsy, I think the murderer is not a human.
Interesting. Please explain.
Come to my place this evening for a drink. I will then explain to you what's behind my theory.
For the last time, you cannot keep withholding evidence just so I'll go for a drink with you. That night...
Are you good on the subject of vampires?
My first thought was, he better have evidence to back this up. My second thought was, please, please stop backing this up.
His strikes are always made within a 28-day period of time, after an interval of 28 years, with exactly 7 days separating the murders. Subtract the 28 years until you come to 1886.
You know what horror films need? More maths.
Does it come out to the figure, as I said? Exactly 1886?
Yes.
Despite the maths, the inspector's not convinced. So he and the doctor visit a nearby castle, but back at their car... and the rest of the party follow shortly.
No one may violate the peace of the dead in this place. Pay with your life for it.
Why can we suddenly see him? Incidentally, he looks nothing like his portrait, which appears to be of the late Paul O'Grady. 20 minutes in and all of our leads are dead, their funeral attended by their loved ones and one inappropriate tourist. Time to introduce another inspector.
I like to be driven about the town. I'd like to look around, get to know everybody here.
And Count Obolensky, who inherits the castle.
All the heirs of the von Winnigers are required to live in the castle alone. That is to say, they are not permitted to admit anyone else for any reason whatsoever, unless it be a direct descendant, or his wife, or the butler they can employ.
You know what horror films need? More legal jargon. He takes up residence alone to pursue his interests.
I have a steady source of income and devote myself to my hobby of taxidermy. I should say I spend a huge amount of my time doing that.
How interesting.
And not at all creepy. It's now been half an hour since we saw a dark-haired girl in a sweater and miniskirt undress. So... boy, the vampire really has a type. The inspector hears that the killer has struck again.
It's a situation that in one way or another has to be ended.
Winning the Dark Corner's Bigger Boat Award for massive understatement. An award he loses immediately to Obolensky.
6 senseless murders committed in a row is really getting to be rather alarming.
5 would barely be worth mentioning.
I see, of course, you can't be a fiend unless you can be invisible.
That really feels like foreshadowing, but that night... sounds like someone subscribed to Dark Corners. Obolensky follows the sound down to the cellar. I'd better rub my eyes to confirm this. Guess it was nothing. Nevertheless, he reports the encounter to the inspector.
The story you tell is so fantastic, you'll permit me to say that I doubt it.
Who responds in the overwritten style used to pad out what is an extraordinarily thin plot. Elsewhere, feels like they could solve their vampire problem by telling all of the dark-haired girls in town not to undress. But who would take on the arduous task of visiting every attractive girl in a tight sweater and revealing miniskirt?
I'll stand guard. Count on me. And I'll bring my bloodhounds along.
Her boyfriend gets it first. But the end result is the same. Keen to prove Obolensky wrong, rather than investigating the actual murder, the inspector searches the cellar.
Just as I thought.
It's all falling into place. Now someone else arrives. the only blonde in the village.
You gave in, finally.
Let's start a master race together. Incidentally, I don't think I caught Oblensky's first name.
Adolf,
Outstanding. Susan settles in.
come on to bed.
Tempting, but I've got another fox to stuff. Recklessly taking her jumper off. Presumably being blonde protects her. But downstairs... this calls for some eye rubbing. Now, to this point, the plot has been a vampire is killing people. That's it. Now...
By driving a pointed stake through my heart to crush out my life, you will bury the curse underground.
disgusted by his own bloodthirsty nature, Baron Vinegar wants to die. Although not enough to abandon his traditional prey. This girl wasn't even wearing a sweater. He's evolving. Adolf tells Susan about the vampire.
You must calm down. You frighten people.
She seeks advice from the police.
If you feel you're in danger, just open a window and start screaming.
Same thing I tell everyone who comes in here. That night, the Baron comes for her.
I'm taking Susan with me, Adolf. I can have my way with her because she is not a descendant.
That's my line in the sand. The ending is anticlimactic. Then, somewhat convenient.
We caught a young man who escaped 2 months ago near Munich from an asylum for the insane.
Then, hugely convenient.
He confessed to the killings, and then, I'm sorry to say, while his guards were distracted, he seized the advantage and then threw himself out of the window.
Here's the thing. In its latter stages, this film bumps into a halfway interesting idea. Susan thinks Oblensky is losing it.
I don't believe one word you say is true. It's pure imagination.
He then shows up in her bedroom fighting an invisible vampire. Which she never sees. Yet now she believes him. The ending of this film ought to be Oblensky saving his girlfriend, but then her having him committed, backed up by the inspector who thinks he's the murderer. That's the logical conclusion.
I'm bad at logic.
Instead...
I'll confess now, Adolf. I know vampires exist.
Yes, me too.
what does that even mean? Was he supposed to be the vampire? Because that does not add up.
Explaining it's stupid. Why should I bother?
Bottom line, it's not horrible enough, it's not sexy enough, and since the Baron strangles his victims, I don't think it's even vampire enough. Thanks for watching. For more stories featuring vampires and invisible men, check out my books, The Immortal Dracula and The Vengeance of the Invisible Man. What films are both horrible and sexy? Let us know in the comments below.
Tomorrow then, bye.